So it looks like this axle is broken off. Let's see if we can get that out of there. And these are some Firestone Winter Force tires I put on here for the winter on steel Toyota truck rims. See, what I did first was hit right on there. That's what breaks it free. Same thing I did with the tie rod end. Sure. And it is not, does not look like a broken axle. Okay, that's weird. Let's see if we can get this axle out of here. It'll come out one way or the other. Let's see here. That's not broken. Is there something in the transaxle that's broke? Or are all those splines just stripped? Yeah, we might as well get that hub out of the way. Yep. Now, as I said before, all you have to do is hit it right here. Why is that spinning? Well, that's weird. I think it's just stripped. So one thing I just happened to notice when I just had this light here is this one has an O-ring on it to keep the dirt out, and this one the O-ring's not there. I think what I'm gonna do, because it is Friday, they can't order the shaft until Monday. They have one, but they're holding it for a job in their shop. They won't let me have it and order another one. So I'm gonna stick this one in to get me by. I mean, the splines do look a lot better than that one. So I'm gonna stick this one in. I think I'll just leave the CV boot on it that's ripped, because when I get the new one, I'm gonna change it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the transaxle out and put some new output shafts in it. This safety mechanism is to prevent the cylinder from leaking down. What this does is it has a slot in it, so you have to lift it up, then you put these tabs on the back side of the cylinder, and then it can't fall out of there. I use a little breaker bar so I can wiggle it back and forth. Feels better. That one was loose. That worked. Loosened them up without breaking them. Now I'm going to remove this lower plate, which is these 3 nuts in the front and these 4 nuts and bolts right under where the control arm was. So this one here being the most difficult, we'll do that one. Show you how that one's gonna go. Because of the rust and whatnot, scale on there, it's a hammer fit. Voila! Huh. The 18 socket is spinning on this nut. So this is a 17. Got that one off. Success. Oh yeah, there's a little dirt in there. And take off this cover plate underneath. There's this wire here, and it's for the speed sensor. So we're going to follow that down and unplug it. There. Now I'm going to remove the plastic cap and clip. I can't get my hand in there with the camera in there, so I'm going to take that out. So I just pulled the plastic cap down, and there's a metal clip around there. There's no other way to get up in there. I'm going to put the camera down for a second and see what I can do. So I was able to get this clip out with the 90-degree pick tool. Let's see if that hose will just pull out of there. Yep. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna remove these hydraulic lines going into the transaxle.
think I could do it by hand now, huh? Let's see. Oh my gosh. I can't. Oops. I need a crowfoot. Just gonna spray a little PB blaster in there. Try to get it to loosen up on the hose. There, I think. That one was a bit of a struggle. Yay. And I'm going to take out these fittings. An 1 1/4 inch deep socket. And to try to keep the dirt out of there, or to keep it out, not just to try, I'm going to stuff a paper towel in that hole. Because I don't have a plug. Down here under the machine, in this front hole here, there is another one of those plastic caps and clips right here on this case drain hose. Let's see if I can get that off. Okay. Again, I'll have to get my little tool up in there and see if I can get that clip off from there. And some sort of a miracle with this hook tool and a little screwdriver, I was able to get underneath that clip. Oh, it just fell on the floor. There it is. Now that hose should just come off. Yeah, it'll be fun putting this back in. There we go. One more hose to unhook. I have this 19 kind of stubby wrench. We'll see if I can get it out with that. It did turn, and it's off. Drain Transaxle fluid. And then I'm just checking the magnet. All it has is this fine stuff stuck on it. Nothing major. So that looks good. Now on both sides we're going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts and this bolt and nut. A little bit of pressure on there. So I'm just going to take the rest of those bolts out. That's what I thought. Found a American 5/8 I can 1/2 inch drive so I can use my swivel impact. That looks like that's gonna work. Oh yeah. Last bolt. Looking good. It is out. Now, can take this right side cover off. I was able to hammer in a 10mm Allen wrench. Happy that came off. That was the gonna mark it right here with a chisel and right on the case so I know which way that was lined up. Just gonna gently go in here. So it lifts up and then it falls back down, so I guess that's it for the spring pressure. Get this off here. There we go. Take this output shaft. I think it'll come right out. Yep. There, that's what we need. While I was waiting for parts, I took the opportunity to sandblast some control arms and covers and brackets that the control arms bolt up to, and paint them. The brackets that the control arms bolt onto go right on here. Took those all off, cleaned this frame, front frame up and painted it. Parts order came in from Bobcat. The new output shaft, $890. Some new snap rings for the axle shafts. Some new seals go right in around the shaft where it comes out the case right here. New O-rings for the control arms. New O-rings for the axle shaft. These are to keep the dirt out of there. They go right up along there. And a new O-ring for the case itself. The case cover, because this one's rusty and got some rust on it, and I just didn't want to chance it. Don't want to take that back out if it's leaking. So we have some new seals for here. 2 seals out. Seals didn't come right out to the edge of the case, and it's rusted a little bit there. So we have this seal bore all cleaned up, and the new seals are ready to go in. See if I can work it down in there with this used old one. And then put this second one in. Perfect. Looks nice and even. Put a little bit of grease on the new seal so it will slide nice and easy into the case. I mean, all these discs move a little bit, so you can't line them all up with these splines on the new shaft. So you have to take all these brake discs out, put the new shaft in, and line these up with all the splines on them. Then all these lobes you want to line up and center in this opening. Because those go into spaces in the cover. We need to find our mark right there. Our mark on the case is right here. Those tabs, I think I set it down on there and then turned it and it just spun the disc. So get those lined up. Try to line that up again. There it goes. Beautiful. Right down in. A little medium strength Loctite for the cover bolts of the transaxle. Tighten these down slowly in a crisscross pattern to evenly lower the cover. There is spring tension on it. Okay, it feels like the cover is seated now. So we're gonna go ahead and torque these 70 foot-pounds. I installed the clips here and here, and these hoses should slide right into them with that taper on it. So I think we're ready to put it up in there. Have to rotate it a little bit this way to get by the steering mechanism here. See if that 3/4 inch board will be enough. It needs to be rotated back now, but not a full 3/4 of an inch. Wow, I think I can get a bolt in there. They're all started on this side. So this hose goes up into there. I gotta get it straight on there, and it should snap right in. Went up in, beautiful. Pushed right in that clip pretty easily once I got it straight. Let's see if we can get this other one, the bigger one. Success. Plastic cap is on. The only other thing back in this area is going to be the wire. Plugs in right there. Before I do the wire, I'm gonna do the hose up here. One is tough to get on. To keep rotating the wrench. That's why they make them offset like that. Okay. Now that that fitting is tight and I don't have to get the wrench in there, I'm gonna bring the wire down through there. And you can see that wire connector in the back. I'm just gonna head for it. There, I think that's the way it was. Well, we have it down here, but I'll put on those two fittings there. Paper towel plugs out of there. They served their purpose and kept it nice and clean. Now the factory Bobcat one here actually has a steel elbow, but I've had to replace this hose blew on me, so I had to replace it. And I didn't want to buy the Bobcat fitting, and this was the one that I could get that was available. That looks nice and clean. I think we'll just start with the crowfoot on this one. It's higher up and there's not as much room in there. We got the speed sensor hooked back up, plugged in. We got the 2-speed hose hooked up. Drive motor hoses all connected and tight. The case drain hose was the other push-on one with a clip in it. We got that in. And the brake hose was the one we put on down in there with a 19mm wrench. Gotta tighten up these bolts that hold the transaxle in. Fill the transaxle with some fluid, and then I'm gonna start it up just to check for leaks. Looks good. The fill cap also has a magnet on it. Not much on there, some very fine stuff. And we're using the Bobcat transmission differential fluid. I'm gonna have this handy dandy little hose that threads onto the oil bottle, and it has a valve right here. About 2.5 quarts.